Nobody is actually trying to stop AI, including you, including me. And I don't mean stop AI. Nobody's trying to uninvent it, and I wouldn't want them to. I mean slow it down, pace it, make it arrive at a speed that isn't a risk for humanity. Now, I know how that sounds. There are thousands of people, brilliant people, that are working in safety labs. There are open letters signed by researchers. There are governments writing regulations right now. All of that is real, and I'm not going to pretend it isn't. But there's a difference between things that look like trying and things that are trying. I went looking for who's actually trying, and I didn't find them. Because every single group that could slow this down, every single one, has a reason not to. Good reasons. Reasons you'd probably agree with if you were sitting in their chair. That's what I wanted to walk you through. Not the technology. The technology is improving on its own. Better chips, better methods, more compute. That's real, and that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is us. So let's start with the people with the most power to stop it. I want you to put yourself in the chair. You run the country. You've read the briefings. You understand the risk. Privately, you prefer this whole thing move slower. You're not reckless. You have grandchildren. But you also know that other nations are building this. And here's a question that keeps you up at night. What happens if you stop and they don't? We've run this experiment before. In the 1940s, the United States and Soviet Union both understood nuclear weapons were a threat to the species. Both said so openly. And both kept building for 40 years because each one believed the other would. Not because the leaders were evil, because stopping on your own felt more dangerous than racing. That's the trap. It doesn't require a single bad person. It runs entirely on reasonable people making sensible calls. And I've tried to argue my way out of that one. I can't. If I'm in that chair, I don't think I'd stop either. And the same logic is running right now with AI between nations. Any country that believes AI is power can't afford to be the one that stops. So the people with armies won't stop. Maybe the people with money will. Here's what a CEO sees when they look at AI. They see the next breakthrough opportunity, the make or break moment for their company, the thing that might matter the way electricity mattered. And most importantly, they see a small number of chairs at the table. Maybe even one. Now, it's easy to make these people cartoon villains. I'm not going to because the logic holds even if everyone involved is decent. If your company slows down, you don't get a safer world. You get the same world minus your seat at the table. Your customers leave, your best engineers leave, and here's the thing that most people miss. They leave to keep building the thing somewhere else. The race doesn't stop when a runner drops out. The race just has one fewer runners. Through my work, I've watched organizations talk about slowing down responsibly. The conversations are sincere, and the pace never actually changes, because the pace was never theirs to set. It's set by the fastest competitor. Everyone else is just choosing how far behind to be. Governments won't, companies won't, which leaves one group I haven't mentioned. You. Somewhere in the last month, you probably said something uneasy about AI, out loud, to someone. Most people have. And somewhere in that same month, you used it, or you bought the thing with it built in, or you picked up the faster app, the better camera, the smarter assistant. I'm not judging you. I did all three. Think about the iPhone 6. That was an astonishing machine, a supercomputer in your pocket. It could have been enough, genuinely enough, for years, and humanity looked at it and said, I'll take the updated one, the one with the better camera. Oh, it's thinner now? Better battery? Better screen? I can unlock it with my face. Please upgrade me again. Every upgrade is a vote, not a loud one. Nobody marches for faster chips, but billions of quiet votes every year, all pointing in the same direction. Improve it. You already know this pattern because you lived it somewhere else. Almost everybody cares about the environment, sincerely. And almost everybody does things daily that harm it. The caring is real. The behavior doesn't change. What we say and what we choose are two different currencies. And the world runs on the second one. Now let me tell you about the people who are actually trying to slow this down. They exist. There are groups protesting outside AI labs right now, holding signs, blocking doors, getting arrested. I don't think they're wrong. They're the only people in this whole story actually doing what they say. But watch the footage and you can count them on your fingers. Same as a climate march. The people who show up are real. The people who don't are the story. Then there's the other group, and this one is even harder to dismiss. Over 1,300 employees of frontier AI companies signed a statement asking for exactly this. Not activists, not critics, chief scientists, co-founders, and the people whose names are on the models. Now let's take it at face value. Assume every one of them completely means this. They're asking governments to build a system to pace this. Which governments? The ones currently racing each other for the exact technology? Ask yourself, what are the odds you'd put on that happening in the next 2 years? That's not a break. That's a request for a break, addressed to the very people who like to drive fast. There's one more thing, and it took me a while to see it. People point at real limits, chips, power, data centers, money, and say, see, it'll slow down on its own. But a bottleneck is not a break. A break is a choice to slow down. A bottleneck is an obstacle everyone in the race is spending billions to remove. The brakes are real. I just can't find one that's stronger than the reasons to keep going. I could be wrong about this. Here's why I don't think I am. None of it gets stronger next year. Everything pushing forward does. So this is where I land. Not AI can't be stopped. I don't know that. Nobody does. Just this. Look at the forces pushing it forward. Nations that can't afford to pause, companies that can't afford to lose, and billions of us quietly voting for the better version. I have a hard time seeing what gets powerful enough to make everybody choose to go slower at the same time. Maybe you can see it. Genuinely, if you can tell me what it is, I want to be wrong about this one. Thanks for thinking with me. We want to stop these people from building AI. Sure, it will give them godlike powers to win any war, gain trillions of dollars, and potentially let y'all live forever. But the downside is, data centers. Yeah, I just realized they're not gonna stop. Never mind.